Hi, Ommara. Thank you so much for helping my project. Could you say a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Ommara. I'm 24 years old. I'm working at the International Code Council as a software quality assurance analyst. Um, I studied at the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana. I studied sociology and political science, and then I went into the IT field right after.
Oh, wow. And I guess what made you make the transition from sociology and political science to IT?
Well, it was because that I wasn't able to find a job that quickly, and so my aunt, she was in the IT field already, so she kind of just like pushed me into that field, and she found me like a class that was really good. It was a really good training class, and I took that, and I really fell in love with it, and I just went that path after that.
Do you find any of your political science and sociology to come in help when dealing with like groups of people and how groups interact and things like that?
Oh, for sure, yeah. It does really help me for that. In any kind of social settings, it really helps me, especially sociology, for sure.
So this is sort of like a sociology field research, this project of mine, finding out what people think about space and how they think about the future of humanity, and kind of like what motivates them and things.
Yeah.
Anything from your courses that you think I should be thinking about as I kind of do these interviews?
That's a good question. I would say that you should probably with any kind of like social experiment, it's good to always have like a good sample of people who like I feel like don't know much about the experiment. That way you can see like what they don't know, and then I feel like it might be a good idea to have like a sample of people who do know a little bit about space. Um, that way you can kind of compare like the different knowledge that both samples have, and also like different age groups for sure.
Yeah, I definitely can see a lot of differences. Right before the COVID lockdown, I was planning to do all these interviews in person with like people at the coffee shop and in the mall and things like that. And I have, maybe 100 interviews that are done in that nature.
Awesome.
And I was getting my gas filled up, and I need an interview for the day. And there's a couple of people on the other side. My son knew them, and so I interviewed them. It was like a mother-daughter. And it was really interesting, some of the questions, like the difference between the generations.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. Did the daughter know a lot more?
Yeah, they both knew a lot, but like
Okay.
especially like the last question of, would you, if it was safe and affordable, would you have an interest in going to space? The mom was like, yes, absolutely. And the daughter's like, no, I don't think so. I just thought that was kind of funny. And the mom kind of looked at the daughter and was like, oh, I didn't know that about you. And
Oh, really?
yeah. So you have some surprises like that.
Yeah.
So did you know that we were planning to go to the moon in 2024 with astronauts?
I honestly, no, I did not know that.
And do you have an idea on how long it's been since we've last had astronauts on the moon?
Okay. Do you know when? Like, honestly, I didn't know that. I thought they would go to the moon whenever. Like, I thought there's always like astronauts going to the moon.
Yeah, would you believe that the last time we had astronauts on the moon was 1972?
Are you really? No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, all the astronauts have been going into low Earth orbit, which is about 200, 300 miles above the surface, and then the moon, I think, is gosh, I forget how far away the moon is, but several thousand miles away. So,
Oh, wow, okay.
yeah.
That's so cool. So do you know why they're going to the moon? Like all of
Well, lots of reasons. One is, we actually, even though we visit the moon a total of 6 times, we actually know very little about the moon. And we've been learning more over the past few years. We've learned that there's like actually water ice that's in the poles of the moon, in these craters that are permanently shadowed. And we think that might be a good resource. And then Uh, mainly just exploration and discovery is the primary reasons. And
Okay.
what do you think about that? I mean, is that enough of a reason to justify it, or do you think maybe we have other things we should be focusing on?
I feel like that's good to know, like what kind of resources are on the moon, but I feel like they should be maybe focusing more on Mars. I think they are anyways, but like just because I heard that there's already water on Mars, and so it's like good to like maybe focus on that. Because I think that because of the resources are depleting here on Earth, they want to maybe have hope that there's another planet that we can, shift towards. So the moon would be awesome, but I didn't know like that was a realistic option for them or for us.
Well, there's kind of different visions on our humanity, the humanity moving into space. You've heard of Elon Musk and SpaceX?
Yeah.
And have you heard about what his big vision is for like what really he's driving towards?
No, I don't.
So he wants to create a city on Mars of like 1 million people that is like somewhat self-sustained, doesn't need resupply from Earth by like 2050. So that's kind of like the time range that he's working on.
That's interesting. Oh, that's
But
so cool. Okay.
did you know Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, also has a space company?
No, I didn't know that. A space company?
Yeah, it's called Blue Origin.
Oh, okay.
And
What is the point?
he's actually really big into space too. And he thinks the future of humans in space is us creating these big orbital self-contained environments that we can make however we want and put them wherever we want. So instead of going to a planet, we could figure out how to take the materials of the moon, use that to create these big space structures, and then make them just like it is here on Earth. But we can also make it closer too, so you don't have to go so far.
Really? That's so cool.
Yeah. But which one of those two visions do you think is more realistic?
That's a good question. I feel like maybe like Jeff Bezos, like I think taking the resources and bringing it back to Earth might be better. Or like having it like halfway so it's not too far. But I feel like both are probably unreasonable. Like I don't think that we could just take things from space and bring it back here or just go to space. Like that's a lot of money and it's gonna be a huge project. It's not something easy. And like how do you survive in space for that long, I guess. I don't know. But I would think that Jeff Bezos' idea is probably a little bit more realistic.
And Jeff is also like, we need to go to space. Like he says, Earth is like the only place that's even remotely good for humans. Is like the absolutely best place. Like there's no other place in the solar system that even comes close. Like Mars, the atmosphere is so thin. Even if you're on the tallest mountain on Earth, that would be like a paradise compared to what it is on Mars. And so he's like, we need to protect this Earth. And he thinks that if we can use space to move like the energy generation and the mining and the heavy industrial manufacturing stuff, and then make Earth like just residential or park, that would be kind of like a better way to go. And if you could put aside kind of like what it would take to get there, is that something that would excite you?
To live in space or like live in Mars?
Or to use space to be able to take all those heavy industrial things that we do off of the Earth, so that now we're not doing like resource extraction, and we're not doing burning of fossil fuels, and that where Earth is like the entire planet is just people and life and no industry.
No, I don't agree at all. I think that if we already ruined our planet, what's the point of ruining another planet or like the moon? Like that's that's even more dangerous. I feel like I think we should clean up our own earth first, and then just like whatever resources and money we're planning on spending outside of space, just like use that here and clean up the earth and make it like a lot better, instead of just trying to like leave it a dump and move to a different place. That's not fair, I don't think. I think that's way more dangerous to like do that on another planet or something.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is to clean up the earth, but
Oh,
take all the things that make it dirty and put them in the space, you know, like the energy generation,
yeah.
use, you know, big arrays of solar panels in orbit around the earth to beam the energy back, instead of doing like, you know, resource extraction like aluminum or what have you, mine those on the moon instead of, you know, having big factories here on Earth, put those big factories in orbit, you know, so that type of thing. That way Earth can really heal itself. And, you know,
Mhm.
really we're preserving Earth as a refuge for life and for humans and for that. So.
I I still don't agree. I think, yeah, I'm just like scared to see what would happen if, I don't know, like those things damage, the resources would damage like another planet. I don't think it would be able to handle it. But like if they have the research and if they say that it's fine, then maybe I think it would be okay. But I just don't think that another, like in space, like it would be able to handle it.
Yeah,
That's a good idea, I guess.
could you talk a little bit more about that? Because whenever I think of pollution, I think of, you know, it making animals dead or sick, you know, it's affecting like their ability to grow and be healthy and that type
Yeah.
of thing. But whenever you think about, you know, a place that doesn't have life, what does it mean to kind of pollute in that place? Does pollution still have the same meaning, or are we really talking about something different?
Hmm. Yeah, I guess you're right. I didn't think of it like that. Like pollution's not only affecting humans, but it is affecting life around us, like plants and animals. And if like, you know, let's say Mars doesn't have that, then what's the harm, I guess? I mean, yeah, I think that I would need more research. Like I don't know like if Mars like contributes like to like the solar system, like if they do something that helps Earth, and like if we pollute Mars, if that would affect us or something. But if not, then I think that would be fine. That might be a good idea until Earth heals itself to do that.
And if it was safe and affordable, would you go into space?
If it's safe and affordable, I would love to go into space. Yes, for sure.
How far would you go to, like, just a trip to orbit for like a week, or would you go to the moon for a couple of weeks, or would you take like several years and go to Mars and come back? Like, how far is?
I feel like the moon for sure. I would love to go to the moon.
And how safe does it need to be? Like, one way to think about safety is the number of people that go through it ahead of you. Like, would you be happy going now, or would you need like a few hundred people to go, or would you need like thousands and thousands and thousands of people to go before you felt comfortable?
Definitely thousands of people. I would want to see just how safe it is for sure.
And then on the affordability side, you know, it's hard to get down the numbers, but one thing that's kind of like universally thought of is how much percentage of a year's amount of income would you spend, you know? So that's different for everybody, and that kind of helps you put things in affordability. But would you be willing to spend more or less than a whole year's income to go to the moon?
Hmm. It's the moon. I feel like, well, how long would I be able to stay on the moon? Just
How about a week?
a week? No, I don't think I would want to spend, yeah, a full year's salary income to go to the moon. It would be a great opportunity for sure. But I don't think, yeah, I would be able to spend that much money.
Half a year's?
Sure,
Three
actually, yeah,
months?
half a year's, yeah. Yeah, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. If we have that technology now, might as well try it out for sure.
That's awesome. Well, those are pretty much all the questions I had, but was there something that we didn't talk about that you wanted to?
No, I think you actually had really great questions. That was a really, I didn't know much about this. I learned a lot from this conversation. It was really cool. I love learning things about space. So this was awesome.
Well, I really appreciate you making time out of your day, and thank you so much. And I encourage your mom to do one of these too, because I'd like
Yeah.
to, it'd be cool to
Yeah,
see what her answers would be.
I would too. I want to see what she thinks about it too.
Okay, well, you have a good rest of your day then.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.